Beloved, it's time for a furious rant. Our lying, thieving government is rolled or cranked up the propaganda machine, and have you heard the latest? The Intelligence Committee has come out today and saying that there's an imminent threat to the United States. Now, we can't tell you what it is. It's top secret, but you need to be afraid. So just sit around and be stewing and worrying and just keep being fearful as you have been for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm so over all of this. I couldn't care less if aliens came down from the heavens and landed in my yard with bags of treats and candies. When Mrs. W and I went to VidCon last year, VidCon is a kind of a YouTube thing for content creators where you go and kind of see what's going on and what the latest technology and things are. And what was on everyone's lips was AI last year. And I saw demonstrations, this was almost a year ago, demonstrations of what is capable with AI to fake images, movies, video content. I turned to Mrs. W and I said, I will never, ever again believe anything that I see or hear on the internet. It was so compelling, very frightful stuff. And that's what we have access to. Can you imagine what the government is sitting upon, right? So here they want us to be fearful, but they're not going to share with us what we should do. And they're going to leak out little bits here and there. And now, you know, I'm watching it in real time. And now it's something in space we need to fear. And obviously the Russians are behind it. I think it's very interesting that right on the heels of that monumentous interview between Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin, which I watched all 2 hours of, that they rolled this out to keep us in fear. Beloved, it's time just to turn our backs on all this stuff. Don't be afraid of what they're doing, and don't trust anything they say. They want to go to war. They want to go to war with Russia, a war that's got nothing to do with any of us. We should not be involved in it whatsoever. They just sent $90 billion over there, and yet here people are starving in the streets. Who's voting for this? Who are these people in Washington that are supposed to be our representatives that are doing this? Republicans, Democrats, they're all thieving crooks. I am so over this, and I'm so over them trying to make me afraid of everything. Don't buy into it, beloved. You're going to hear this and just watch it. They're going to trickle it out. They'll give you little tidbits here and there just to keep you always on the back foot, just to keep you always off balance, just to keep you insecure and worried and fearful, to degrade your life. They want to destroy you. I don't know what it is. I don't know what type of people get off on this sort of thing, but they're absolute monsters. And all of these congressmen and these senators, I don't care what they say, if they're left or if they're right, they're complicit in this, just following orders. They're drawing paychecks from this. No one is fighting the good fight for us. Stop supporting these people. Stop voting for these people and just stop listening to them. Don't be fearful of this latest propaganda stream. They want to go to war. They want to make money off of our deaths. They want to send our sons and daughters. I'll be over my cold, dead hand will I send my children to support these people. I do not support this. We have no business being over there. It is so infuriating. I wish I knew what the answer was. I guess, why it affects me, I guess, so much is that for so long I believed that, as inefficient as a government is, I believed that ultimately they were looking out for our best interests. Yeah, there's always going to be waste. There's always going to be corruption. If you're a student of history, you'll see that people have been complaining about governments since governments existed. Since the very first time when Israel went to God and said, we don't want you to lead us anymore, we want a king. It's always been this way, and it will always. But I guess what's so hard for us, a lot of us, is this process of coming out of the brainwashing that we receive through media, our public school education, honestly believing that these people cared for us, that they were looking out for our best interests. Well, the scales are coming off of our eyes. Most of us, or not most of us, unfortunately a very small minority of us, not enough. And coming out of the awakening from that, from realizing that everything you've been taught and everything you've been told, and the good majority of the history that that was given to you is lies, deceit, and never happened. And coming to that realization that everything that you believed in, and the patriotism and America's, the exceptionalism, it's a hard thing to endure. It's a hard thing. It's frightening, but it's also exciting. This is what God was speaking of in the end times. He says in the good book, now we see through the glass dimly, but there will come a time when things will start to come into focus. What we believed to be true in the past, we're starting to see is not. What God has in store for us, no man knows. But don't be fearful, beloved, and don't buy into all of the scaring. They've been trying to scare us forever. Acid rain, global warming, global cooling, ozone holes, all those things that were front and center on Time magazine and all over the media. Where are they now? Are we still talking about acid rain? What happened to that ozone hole? All of it has just been a constant drumbeat just to constantly keep you in fear and anxious all the time, to take away the peace that God gives us. The good book says that I will give you a peace that defies understanding. God has the ability to give us a peace in any environment. Commit your soul to your Savior. Get on your knees and confess to Him and look to His soon coming. Don't be fearful of all of the propaganda. Don't buy into it. Look at it. Mock these people. Ridicule these people. Don't give them any credibility. They are nothing more than paid actors and the spawn of Satan. May God bless you and your families. Stay faithful. Be faithful, be faithful, be faithful, and everything's going to be okay.